Richards, Valentine's. I think you'll hear your submission touches on the wrong plan rather than the annual plan. I think perhaps some advice might have been given your way around making this submission to the local what is it called, the psycho-substances plan. You know, when it goes out for public submission, because it's not really part of the annual plan. But let's see if we can.
I'll attempt to retrieve that, Mayor. I'll bring it round to something more relevant.
Excellent, excellent, thank you.
I would like to begin by saying that Valentine's truly appreciates the support of the community, which has enabled us to get going again. And in particular, we've appreciated the support from the council, which at many levels has helped us or facilitated our rebuild. And so many people have been prepared to listen to us when we've got problems and communicate to us. And I suppose through that process, we've come to appreciate the difficulties that the council faces. But there are two areas of spending that we think are essential to the retail and justice precinct, and I appreciate the opportunity to just run through those quickly now and give you some time to ask me some questions. The first one is the Litchfield Street parking building. We urgently need a decision on its future and a commitment to get on with the decision that's made. Until the decision is made, those of us with land around it can't make decisions on our own property. Valentine's had a building to the east of the Litchfield Street parking building which came down in the earthquake, and that interconnected with the parking building on all levels. There were 4 levels of car parking, 2 levels of retail, and another basement of car parking, and we'd all interwoven seamlessly. Now, if the parking building goes, that's one thing. If it stays, it's another thing, and we need to know. The Guthrie Centre need to know if it's going to come or go, because they had a major entrance in it. And indeed, the whole planning of our quarter of the precinct depends on the decision on the Litchfield Street parking building. I note that the DeMasi report on the new Christchurch City Centre said, the physical plan must commence with accessibility and circulation, resolving the needs of the total precinct for parking, as well as for easy access and egress. The question of the council-owned Litchfield Street car park is at the heart of these considerations, and the future of that car park must be determined as part of the total plan. It's very evident that that is a critical part of the retail precinct plan, and we would ask you to make the decision and to get on with it. I note in the Sarah today released a public sector rebuild plan showing the council's intention apparently is to start repairing the car parking buildings in the third quarter of 2015, and we think that's too late because
I'm sorry, but I haven't even seen that document.
No, you were probably in a meeting, but that's what it says. And it's going to be too late. The Justice Precinct...
No, sorry, we're held up because the government is doing another retail master plan, which and our building is apparently in the picture that they're drawing. But I don't know where that's up to, and I don't know when it will be concluded. But we cannot make a decision about what we're doing until that is completed.
Can we help? Can we make a joint approach to the government in that case and have a chat?
For sure.
It's such an important...
I mean, the thing is that there are so many layers of things that are going on at the moment, and I don't mean to express frustration in front of you, Philip, because, you know, I know that you work really hard to try and hold the whole thing together, and we know that we have a responsibility in this regard, and we really do know that we're going to have to act before we've got the financial security to do so. And it may be us that does that, and it might be somebody else who does it on our behalf, or it may be just somebody else who does it on their behalf, and at some stage in the future we might have it returned to our interests. We're looking at a range of options, but we're getting ready to make a decision, but we are slightly frustrated by this latest master planning process, which seems to have been imposed at a relatively late stage in the process, and I'm absolutely unclear as to what's driving it and why our building space is included in it. I presume that staff have been involved in the master planning process, but I can't.
Yes, there are council representatives on that body.
Right. But is this the architect out of Wellington that's doing it?
That's correct.
Yeah. So do you know where that's up to?
I think there's a report due at the end of May.
It is the end of May next week. Well, 2 weeks. So it is coming to a conclusion. So it is not our intention to wait till 2015. We will make a decision as soon as we possibly can, and it will be as soon as we possibly can. It will be within weeks, not months.
Excellent, thank you for that. May I just say that anything we can do to help, we would like to do. And we have had a history of working with the council on parking. I can go into it in detail, but not today. I haven't got enough time.
No. We understand.
I did also want to. I submitted on the legal highs, and you've pointed out that was inappropriate. So I'm going to make it appropriate by saying the situation's changed a little bit anyway. The reason we submitted on it because our staff were being frightened and harassed by the people who were coming in to buy the legal highs, especially when they were going home at night. And sometimes our customers were commenting on the bigging and the harassment that they were getting. And it occurs to us that when the inner city as the inner city is rebuilt, it's imperative that we have the highest degree of security in the inner city, and that's going to come at a cost. Now, I don't know how much we can expect the police to do, but I think it will come at a cost to the council also. And if we don't have a safe environment, it'll damage all the blueprint plans. The bus exchange used to be an unsafe place at times, and it needs to be a place where people feel safe, and then they'll use it. The visitor industry will be badly affected if the city isn't safe. People won't want to live in the inner city. People won't want to shop in the inner city. And so it's not only legal highs, it can be alcohol, it can be even tagging. All these things diminish from the ambience of the inner city. So that's why I wanted to say, if anybody wants any questions, we've had a chat already.
You certainly have touched a chord on that one as well. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yanni.
Thank you. I was really interested in your comment that you say the Litchfield Street car parking building must be retained and kept under council control one way or another. Could you just elaborate why you think it's important that council owns and controls car parking buildings in the central city?
Yes, the history of car parking, as I understand it, the council took it upon itself to provide visitor parking from the outset, and a lot of the parking was funded by development contributions from people who built new buildings and didn't provide parking. So the Litchfield Street car park was built in that way. It was sited on the old Anson's Foundry site, and there was some land left over after the first 2 bays were built, and the council wished to sell it. Valentine's bought it, and about 16 years later, when the council wanted to expand the car parking, we sold it back to the council at a discount of 20% and had negotiated some access rights for 30 car parks on our roof. There's an awful lot of interchange between landowners and the council. It's, if you like, created I'd say an implied trust, I suppose, that we work together on these things. Guthrie's and Valentine's put 50,000 each into the lift. We've just worked together, and it's been to the advantage of the retail precinct to assist the council, and it's been to the advantage of to have the council controlling the car park ultimately. If it falls all into private enterprise, we fear the possible consequences.
You've ended up in the space where we are in terms of the way we'd like things to be and what we can afford, given the constrained environment that we're in, especially around insurance. And we have an insurance dispute at the moment, which I think the difference on this building is over $15 million. It's a lot of money to be separated in terms of finding a resolution.
Yes, we understand that public-private partnerships can be formed, which, while they give the control in the meantime to private hands, ultimately the ownership of the park reverts to the council.
Yeah,
that sort of thing would give an opportunity for the council to retain some control over
That's right.
the parking
So,
facility.
and as I've said to you before, all of the options are on the table, and we have had proposals put to us that cover the gamut. All right. So I think that's all. Thank you very much. Good to see you. And